record. Oh, so welcome, Sketchbook Heroes. Sorry, we got this drawing started already. We broke it down by ratios, and we're just really in the middle of it. So, all right, do what you can. Always take on the challenge. Sometimes it's like, oh, wow, how did he do that? And that's the question. That's the magic question. It's the how. It's the process, right? So we'll catch it on the next one. It's always the how. Once you understand the how, right, you can fly a plane because you know how, or you know the magic trick because you know the how. But you have to start off with the why. Why are you doing it? Because it's a struggle. It's not easy. It's not easy until you know how. All right, so I'm adding to it. I'm adding a little bit more to the head. See, I had my sketch there and I'm saying, okay, wait a minute. I'm imagining it a little bit taller. So I'm going a little bit taller, making these adjustments on the fly, making it go and attaching it to the body. There it is. And he's chewing on a leaf. He's chewing on a leaf. Let's see, let's add that leaf as there's overlapping. That's in front. Let's see, that's in front. Notice the overlapping. A lot of concepts, a lot of ideas going on in this little simple drawing, but it's not that simple. Yeah, just like the overlapping in that knot. Their knot poem from last week. Not poem, it was a knot prayer. Hopefully it recorded. I don't know. It was a good one last week. Yeah, we'll see. I can see this. My neck should probably be a little bit closer here, or a little further back. That's okay. I can see it. I'll probably push it just back a little bit, but that's okay. I'd have to pull this back as well. Depends sometimes on how accurate you want it. It doesn't have to be perfect all the time. You know, you make your adjustments, you make your erase what you can. And if not, you just accept it and move forward. Keep going. It's all right. It's all right. It's hard to draw and talk. It took me a while to learn how to draw. And then it took me a while to learn how to draw and talk at the same time. All right, so here we go. This other, the back leg, you can see it comes out. And if you follow this line here, the body line, it can actually attach itself here. And I missed the teeth. But this, I'll go back right now, but this leg here is behind. So it's a little bit higher than this leg that's in the front. Okay, and it kind of all fits together, a little puzzle. All these shapes together to make a puzzle. And then the little teeth, which I also kind of space-wise, it's not accurate, but it's okay. There's two teeth. I'm drawing two teeth as well. There's two teeth on that side with the little leaf of that tree. And there's some nostrils. There's one nostril here and another nostril there. And by changing it, we do make it more our own. So, hey, that's my dinosaur. You make it more original. You make it more OG, like my students used to say. That's OG, original. You're not totally copying. You're getting creative unintentionally sometimes. But it's all good. It's all good. It's all fun. There we go. And you can't make all those baskets, but just keep shooting. The more you practice, it's about the practice. There we go. There's like 4 on top. Actually, these 2 like right on top. I'm not breaking it down as much as I'm doing it without saying it. Right, so there's these 3 here. Like this one is almost like at the top, and then it's seeing how it fits. The other ones, I can probably, once I have these 3, I can just get the feel of it and just put them in, watch the spacing. And then I think I've been a little too far. That's okay. And then just put them in the back. If we miss one, accuracy is not that important. So I'm just trying to get the feel of it. And the feel of it. Here we go. Oh, actually, it looks like they're spacing. They start spacing out a little bit more as they go out this way. Yeah. There we go. Right about there. There we go. We need one more foot, and we're done with the dinosaur. Oh no, we still have the toes and a couple spots. Details. The details always go last. Try to see the big shapes first, part of the process. Big shapes first, and then medium shapes, and then the small shapes all go last. I used to be so detail oriented. Oh my gosh, I still am. But now I know how important it is to see the big stuff. So it all kind of falls in place. And the proportions are better. My proportions have gotten way better. There we go. Ta-da! So hopefully your dinosaur looks awesome. If not, you can put a bow on it. You can, you know, get creative, add a background volcano. Here we go. We can make it into a dragon by adding wings. All right, so I'm gonna go search real quick for a, that was a 15-minute drawing there. Take an hour sometimes on some little sketch here. All right, if you want to draw the tree, I won't break that one down. I'm gonna look for a, we're gonna look for dragon tails, a simple dragon as well. And then we're gonna do landscape. So let me share my screen so you can see my process. My process is just on the fly here. I don't have anything prepared. So if you find something, or if you're looking for landscapes, hey, let's do this landscape. All right, here, so here, let me see. Let's look for a, we're looking for a dragon. Let's type in simple.
Can I show my dinosaur?
After we draw the dragon, we're gonna draw a dragon, then we'll show our cartoons. I know we're excited to share. Just hold on. Sometimes a little bit of patience and persistence. I call it patience and persistence. They kind of sound like they don't go together, but it's an awesome combination. There we go. Simple dragon. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, because we'll be here all night by sharing and stuff. So we gotta, and we got 60 people here tonight, just about. Almost. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So if you find it's finding the right drawing too. Sometimes it's hard. Like, oh, I want to draw this, but you know, it's not. I can tell it's not a beginner. This is a little more beginner, but not as. You know. Let's see. Ah, this one's cute. I like this dragon. He looks worried. This is a cute one here too. Oh, that one's. I actually like that. The way it's designed. Yeah, some of these are a little more difficult. I remember drawing the dragon as a kid, the dragon from Sleeping Beauty. I really liked that one. There's a lot of triangles in it. Where was that last one? I've drawn this one in my class. You come across some of the same drawings. That one, I actually really like this one.
Those are cool.
Yeah, we're gonna do this one. He looks like he's worried about something. So we're gonna copy the image address. I'm gonna paste it up here. So if you want to screenshot it, and you can screenshot it. I'm also gonna, let me zoom in. I'm also gonna put it in the chat and give you time to, if you're drawing, keep drawing. Everybody's at their own level. You got to rise to your level. And there it is. Rise, find your challenges. You'll find your challenge. And then you practice until you get it. And actually it's really exciting. You're like, oh man, I'm having trouble drawing this. And that's one of the, you're actually building the anti-fragile. If you have a hard time with something until you're like, okay, I'm going to get it till I get it. I'm going to do it till I get it. Anything worth doing is worth doing badly until you get it, because it's worth doing it. You'll get it. You're playing the long game. All right, so there's that one. I'm going to print it out. Did I put it in the chat? Yes, I did. Cute, easy. Yeah, that's it. Let's see. I'm going to print. There we go. There it is, black and white. I guess our color's gone. Black and white's better anyways. It helps you focus on value, and value is more important than color. If you really understand value and then go into color, it's like color makes more sense. Or you can do both of them at the same time, but I think, oh, unless you get something like that.
Did you give us the link?
Yeah, yes, I did.
Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't see it.
I'll post it again, paste it again. There you go. All right. Sometimes I paste it just to one person. Oh, the face is all gone, but that's okay. It went too dark. That's okay. Let's see. Let's do the best we can with what we have. That's a strategy. It's like playing poker. You do the best you can with what you have. All right, so I see the biggest shape I see is like this. I see a circle in here. Am I sharing my screen still? Yes, I am. Good. Let me break that down over here first before I I can, because I see that circle first. Let me annotate that. Jump to here, my shape. So I see this circle shape here. This is what I see. That shape right there. Wow. Okay, so that circle shape is the big shape. Everything else is kind of like on that. That's like the foundational shape. And then you see this oval shape of the head. And it's a little complex. It goes in, but if you see this oval shape, I can't turn it, but it's this oval shape if I were to be able to turn it, but then it cuts in, the mouth cuts in, and then it's at an angle. And it's important to see the angle. The whole shape has an angle. Let's see, it's an axis line, that axis line right there. That angle will help. There's kind of like, this is straight up and down almost, and then this also angle here to almost like a triangle there. Seeing this and kind of breaking it down before you draw kind of helps. Looking at and kind of analyzing what you're going to draw before you draw it, and seeing how it kind of like, okay, this is what we're getting into. This is how it all fits. These are the parts, and then draw. I would just go ahead and start drawing. I'd pick a corner and then just start drawing, and then I'd have my head like one size and the body a different size. But you want to try to see the whole. You want to start to see the parts and how all the whole and parts fit. All right, so there we go. That's enough sharing and enough breaking down. There we go. I think that's it. And let me share my screen. Any questions before we move on? I don't see anything in the chat, so feel free to put stuff in the chat if you'd like. Here we go. I think that's a good spot. And we're ready to go. If you're ready to go, here we go. I have space. All right, so good. All right, so again, that circle, that whole circle, I can see that circle for the body, and then the head right around there. So I've got that circle, and that's ratios. Circles and squares have the same height, same width. So the ratio is 1 to 1. When you're talking about ratio, we're talking about the height compared to the width. And squares and circle have the same height and same width. That dinosaur we drew had, it was hard to see the ratio, but it was 2 times as long as it probably was high. So if you measure the height of the dinosaur, that's 1. And then you can see how long it is. That's 2. See, that's why I drew 2 squares, and that's the ratio. That helps us it fit on our paper before we even start. And here I can see that circle, and then the head at about that angle, about that shape there. And I can make any adjustments if I want to there without, I didn't make too much of an investment. Those of you making investments, there's a investment of your time. Thank you very much. Here, you see, I can see how it's going to fit. And there's one of the habits of mind, the 7 habits of mind of successful, 7 habits of successful people is beginning with the end in mind. So we're beginning with the end in mind. We kind of imagine this done before we even do it. Can you imagine your dinosaur, your dragon here, right? I can imagine it here. I can imagine that the wings are going to be right about there. The tail's going to be right about there, a little bit of a curve. I can see the feet going to be right about there, right? I maybe make it a little bit smaller because, yeah, actually I can imagine it. The eyes will probably be right about there, but I'm just, just using my imagination. It's the greatest nation. Here we go. So we're going to start, let's start off with the head, I guess. Yeah, we'll go from the top and then we'll go to the bottom. Our blocking in is in, our framework is in. I'm happy with it. Hopefully you're happy with your framework. If not, it's okay. It takes practice. You're looking back and forth and seeing what you got and where we're going. So going to let's add this horn. I'm going to add this horn right about in here. I'm going to add that, and that horn kind of sticks up right about there. Oops, right about there. Yeah, there it is. A little horn there, right about there. And then the cheek that goes right under it, right about there. I can, if I'm not confident, if I don't feel confident, I can sketch it in lightly until you feel confident. Like, okay, kind of sketch in the parts, and like the eyes, I kind of put them together like one big shape. But then you can take them apart. But when you're first blocking things in, you can see them together as one piece. So that mouth, I actually am happy with that now, right there. We can do the eyes because they're closer to us. So I'm going to draw this eye. And here we are. The artist is using overlapping. So overlapping, things that overlap to create space. This eye is closer. It is lower. And then the back of the eye behind it is behind it. I'm scribbling it in, and we're sketching. And sometimes we don't see the sketching part. We just see the finished drawing, like that dragon is a finished drawing. You know, see, look at all these shapes. They probably cleaned it up. We don't see the process, and we want to draw like that, but you know, you got to do the sketching. And then you can clean it up. And then if you want, we'll go back with a marker and make it all look nice and professional. But it's not the important part. It's really the sketching is where the magic is. All right, so we're gonna do the eye, the pupils. A little bit of overlap in there. There's a pupil here. Oops, I think that's not going as well as I'd like. And then the other pupil. I'm gonna draw these over because I'm not happy with these right now. And it's okay, but I'm sure for you to be clear with what I'm doing, I'm gonna draw them again. Let me draw that. I think this pen is like not acting well. So I have a marker. Here's a red marker. All right, so what's happening with these eyes? They're at an angle. And here we go. That's much better. I see that's cleaner. And then the other eye is behind it. Oops, it came out a little far. And then the pupils. There we go. That's much cleaner. There's one, and then there's another one. That's a little better. So the eyes are something like that. Yeah, my sketching is looking, this pen, let's find another pen. Oh, this one, I like this one better. This one's more of a gel pen. Yeah, that one's not cooperating. All right, and that's how you get to, sometimes you learn your materials. It's like, oh, okay, wait a minute, let's try a different one. And then you're like, wow, then you can really appreciate good materials. Like, oh, okay, but it's a little bit of struggle. I was doing some research on the Prismacolors. Actually, somebody mentioned Prismacolors, and I said Barrel. That was the name of the brand back in the 80s. They actually changed tans, and Prismacolors were the kind of colored pencils that was, you know, the only ones you can get. But now there's different brands, and there's really good quality ones. And the Prismacolors, I hear, well, according to them, the quality has gone down like anything as it's changed hands and ownership, I guess. But I think that they're still good quality. They're still really good quality. So yeah, you always gotta play with your tools, try different things, experiment, explore until you find something you're like, wow, I like this, and you get comfortable with it. And then every once in a while, still step outside that comfort zone. All right, so we're gonna go down with this oval shape, the nose. There's something going on with the nostril here. So there's, if I draw it in here like this, draw this whole head, the nostril actually is attached. It's like a little oval that's attached, like a little bump right there, right on that. Come in here like that. All right, and then we're gonna add that, and then we're gonna swoop around here and then swoop up and get the flow of that line and swoop it down over. Here we go. Really looks like a worried dragon. Like, oh, here comes the night. Yeah. Sometimes when my students are working slowly, I go, okay, come on, dragon tails. They're dragging their tails. Yep. There we go. There's that. Really interesting how that comes around and then kind of straightens out a little bit to a point, and then it curves in right in there, that mouth part, and then bring this other part around, close it up. There it is. There's the whole shape of the head right about there. I didn't break it apart. I mean, I usually like this, the eyes are in the top half, you know, seeing the fractions, seeing how all the parts fit. I might have gotten talking about other stuff. So you're off. It might be because of me. It's not all you. Sometimes we blame ourselves for stuff, but it's sometimes it's outside of us. You do the best you can until you know better. And then when you know better, you'll do better. Always do the best you can. and then you strive. But you got to be happy with where you're at as well. You know, it's sometimes we're at, enjoy the lane you're in. Enjoy that lane. And then, you know, say, hey, I want to move to the next lane. You'll know when it's time. It's like, okay, in the fast lane. Or sometimes you want to move back to the slow lane or a different lane. All right, let's draw the teeth. I'm going to draw this center part first. This kind of sets the place. So it goes from right about here, and then it comes up, back up, setting that expression like, ooh, yikes. If I could hear him talk, I'd say like, yikes. Like, oh man, what's that up above? A flying knight. So there's that center line. And then from here, breaking it down, there's 2 lines. Actually, there's 3. It's really basically 3. So if I see 3, the center one, the middle one is actually off center, like there. And then it's that line here. That's probably in the middle of those 2. And then this other line there, 3. See how those parts fit, those lines fit. There we go. There it is. There's the head. Now we got to attach the body. And then we'll share. It is 7:30. We're doing good. We're doing good on our time. So if you're here for the first hour from 7 to 8, you know, feel free to come and go. We don't, you know.
No, are we gonna do landscapes as well?
Yes, we're gonna do landscapes. We're gonna do landscapes next. If you want to put dragons in your landscape, yes, we're gonna do some landscapes next. Yeah, it's a little more challenging. We're going to do actually get into shading with the landscapes. It'll be simple shapes, but it'll be good introduction to values. We'll talk a little bit about values. We'll find one with values. All right, so I'm seeing where the neck is. I see the slight angle. There's a curve to it, but it's more important is the angle. The curve kind of almost takes care of itself because it's a really slight curve. Kind of comes down and attaches itself. It's not almost straight up and down, and attaches itself to the body here. There's a little bit of a bump right in here where the shoulder is. A little bit of a bump or a circle. I can actually imagine that circle there. So that's where the kind of like the shoulder is. That shape of that big old circle. All we need is that little part of it, because that's that little bump there, and then another little bump for the body, like that, right about there. So we have that shape, and this shape kind of attaches itself to there, to that first circle that we got there. And I think I made my head maybe a little bit bigger proportion wise, but that's okay. That's okay. It's all good. Grading season. We just finished midterms. We're actually finished. We're grading the IB projects right now. That's what I need to do tonight. There's still a couple projects I need to grade.
Do teachers have favorite students?
Favorite students? Yes, they do. Although I try not to, you know, I really try to. I do treat everybody the same, you know, but it's I don't know. I have over the years, I've pretty much done that. But
I was just curious.
yeah, I don't play favorites. I try not to. But you know, it's you know, students that work hard and you can see them like, okay, you know, it's and then students that get there late or on their phones, it's kind of like, oh, so it's a different feeling. Yeah. But you know what, I've actually I've been doing a lot of research on phone use and how bad it is for your imagination. It doesn't let you get bored. So anytime somebody gets bored, they bring out their phone, and it's not really a good thing. You have to actually have a little bit of that downtime to really let your brain kind of like, okay, kind of explore and kind of imagine and kind of, you know, get into ideas. All right. Okay. And actually even, what is it called? Incubate ideas, right? So, okay. So I'm seeing this neck here and how it's going to attach itself to the body and kind of brought it in. And I'm doing a lot of things without explaining. So hopefully you're getting it. And that's a little more advanced. Try to explain everything, but sometimes oh, there's a lot to explain. So always just do your best. All right, so there's the neck from here, how it attaches itself to that circle. Then we're going to attach that leg, that back leg right in here. Because I didn't even draw the axis lines. Sometimes you get to doing things without, you're doing things automatically. Automatic. And that's a good place for you, but it's hard for teachers because how do you explain something you just do without thinking? You just do it. So I'm going to do this line here, the inside part, and I'm already seeing it kind of come. It's going to loop in here, loop in there. I can do it lightly and see it there, and then go in here, and then yeah, it actually goes pretty close there as well. And that comes down and it attaches itself to the leg right there. There we go. Right, darken it up. All right. And this is cuteeasydrawings.com. Cuteeasydrawings.com. Thank you. There's a plug for you. We're copying. We're doing this for educational reasons. And copying, yes, copying is okay. Now this is interesting triangle. So this is like a triangle with circles around it. So it's like you got to see how it's made. So it's really like this triangle here, but there's these circles in the negative space. I mean, these circles on the outside like that. So these this part here, this diamond shaped wing in the back. There we go. There's a diamond shape, and then this shape is actually a little bit thicker. This here is usually a little bit thicker because it holds the lightness of this wing that's in that side. So here we go, attach. There we go. All right. Thank you for coming out tonight. It's good to, sometimes you want to go where everybody to get away. A little escape. There we go. All right, so we got the thick part, this thick part right here. It looks like a check mark almost. It's upside down check mark. It's the thick part, and it goes darker. I'm shading it already with my pen. Shading. All right, let's okay, and then the hand. The hand fits in right here, and I can see it like this circle shape there. That kind of helps me get that shape, that circle shape. And then the arm is a simple two lines for that arm, and it goes from thick to thin. So it goes a little bit wider at the top, and it comes in as it curves. It tapers, comes in a little bit, and then there's another little circle here for the thumb. Curves in like that. And that's another little oval. And then it curves out this way. And then there's a little bit of a palm on the other side. And then it curves out along that shape right there. There's one finger, another finger. What's great about your imagination drawings or imaginary drawings, nobody knows, hey, this dragon, like this little wing here is not gonna pick this dragon up physically. Like they say bees also, they're designed like, wow, those little wings, but somehow they flap them fast enough. Yeah.
Maybe that's why he's worried.
Like, how am I gonna fly away? See, that story, you can always fill in those gaps with our story. Oh man, where was it? Just today, somebody was talking about story in their drawing. I was watching videos and how important story is. Where was that? It was just recently. All right, there's the hand with 3 fingers and a thumb. All right, story. All right, let's do the bottom part and we're done. So if you're done, if you're faster than I am, great. Go ahead and draw other stuff. You know, draw maybe what is he worried about? What's the story? What's the story? All right, so I can see my tail needs to come out a little bit more and swirl around. It's going to swirl around, come in. I can get the feel of it. See, like it's going to be in here somewhere. You can sketch it in lightly. See, just sketch it in lightly. And then until you'll feel confident. I can see it. I can see it. And then you draw it. This leg here, I'm going to go slower with it. I'm going to bring it down. See, because I can already start imagining it here and say, oh, this leg is going to be too high. This foot's going to be too high. I would have just drawn it in there. But I'm making those corrections and connections and seeing, okay, this foot should go here and checking as I go. And that other foot should go there. Maybe bring it up a little bit more. All right, about there. Let's see, I'm gonna have it there. There we go. Now I'm happy. All right, let's add this tail as it comes up and around. You'll see these shapes over and over as you draw stuff, the tapering lines, and I mean, I say it over and over, but you'll see it and then you get better. It's like, oh, there's a tapering shape. Right, it tapers as it gets, or it's parallel, right? Or it's symmetrical. It's understanding it and then practicing it. It's like, okay. Well, look at the angles, look at the ratios. Math, yes, math, geometry, shapes, angles, perspective, proportions. Yeah, proportions, math. All right, there's the tail. Tail of a dragon. All right, here we go. All right, and here's another parallel. See the parallelness, see the thickness of it, get the feel of this shape. Kind of, does it taper a little bit? It does taper a little bit. It does get a little bit thinner as it comes in, that tapered shape. Attach that tail to that. Those two little leg lines. All right, I can see my foot. I'm gonna start with the front. There's this one, usually the one in the front and then the one in the back. It's a triangle with a curve in it, a little curve, or a circle with a triangle. That curved part. Here's the point. It curves back. Bring it up a little bit. There's one toe. And then it curves this way. A lot of ins and outs.
Can you move the paper up? I can see.
Thank you. All right, here it is. And then we got the back of the leg, back of the foot. There we go. There we go. All right, back of the shape. And it's like half an oval, right? All these little shapes put together. There's that one. And then there's a curve on the toe. These probably talons. And then the other toe. He's got two toes. Another little point and back. Notice the overlapping. Notice how it goes. It says behind. Behind. Your brain wants to probably draw the whole thing, but it doesn't see everything. It just sees that little part. All right, we're almost there. One more foot and the little scales on it and maybe some shading. And then we'll start sharing. And then we'll get into landscapes. Landscape. All right, so this foot, I can already see how I'm gonna fit it in. It's gonna fit probably right about there, using my imagination, trying to see the big shape. This is a good exercise right there. See the big shape first, and then break that into smaller shapes. See, that's the big shape, like an oval shape there. And then this, breaking it down, there's an oval shape that kind of comes down here. The big toe that's in the front. It's like this right there. A bit of a point. And then curves. Tapers. Those are really strong tapers right there. They taper. Do that back part of that foot. Close off the toe. There we go. Then do the toe in the back. And point. Ooh, draw a castle. Castles are fun. Drawing the bricks and seeing the patterns. Patterns, one of the principles of art, but there's a pattern. You continue this line up here. Then you do the next brick, and then the next brick, you skip a line. You do another brick, another brick. This is fun to do. You're doing parallel lines, shapes, seeing all this pattern. Yeah, it'd be cool to draw those. That's not the princess I want. It's like scared of the princess. Put a princess up in that tower. See, it's all that story. My imagination just went to like, it's like, oh, princess. All right, here we go. Let's do the little lines on the tummy from the neck down. Really simple, just lines. They don't curve too much. They're kind of, I don't know. I usually want to try to wrap it around the form. I'm going to do that. I'm going to wrap it a little bit more around the form than they did. It gives it a little more sense of roundedness. It's that next level of, from shapes, we go to form. This is form, right? Drawing a sphere, drawing a cube, drawing a cone. That's three-dimensional. That's the next level. After step 2, that's probably step 3. Drawing form and shading. That's probably step 5 right there. In our values, shading and practicing all that. I can shade. Get a little bit of color in here. Shading real quick. All right. I think we have people that are ready to share. I know itching to share. Ah, there we go. Meta and Nina, I believe. Yes. I say it right this time.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's here we go. What you got?
Okay. I'm Meta and I made
All right.
that's the dinosaur. That's the dragon.
Sweet, sweet. All right.
Cute.
And Mina.
Here's Nina's.
Mina.
Like his shirt.
Oh, nice.
And there she is. All right. You've got it right in the back. Let's see. All right. Oh,
Then her dinosaur.
right. Probably a little closer to the camera. That's fine. Okay. Missed it a little bit. It was really quick, but very nice, very sweet. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Right. Okay. All right. Mrs. Morales. There we go. Let me see. Have you, you need to put your video on before I can share. Or Julie and Justin. That's what I'm sorry. There we go. Oh, wow. We got more little ones. Oh, look at, there you go. Oh, that was a quick, quick look. One more time. Oh, there they are. Sweet. All right. Through the tree. Oh, very good.
Aw, it's cute.
Thank you for sharing. All right. Let's go with Maria.
Okay, so this is my little one before.
Uh-huh. Oh, the hat. You got a hat going.
I've got a little hat on now. And then this is the one I just did now.
Ah, you got the
Wow.
shading. Really nice. I like the size of it. What's in the corner?
Well, I was supposed to make a balloon and like he accidentally like burned it and it was falling out.
Oh, okay. I see.
I didn't get to finish that.
That's all good. It's all good. I like it. I like it. That's sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
All
I gotta
right.
go. See you next week, Eladia. You everybody.
All right, see you, Maria. All right, there we go. Yelena.
Oh. And it's, I cover up because there is a picture. It's a
Oh, the little
Oh,
egg.
that is so cute.
dinosaur.
So amazing.
Yeah,
Cool.
happy birthday, dinosaur. And there is,
Oh,
you were talking about
Amazing.
school. He's going to school.
He's going to
he's
school.
afraid for an exam.
Okay, thank you.
Aw.
Thanks.
All right, Joshua. Let's go with Joshua. See what you got. All right, Josh. You ready? Josh? What you got?
Here's my golden dinosaur
Ah,
in a pine tree.
sweet.
And here's my dragon
Okay, good.
that looks completely as full of anxiety.
All right, yeah. Yeah, I like the little sweat marks. That's cool. I
Yeah.
like it, yeah. That's great. All right, Josh, thank you for sharing. Good seeing you.
Gotta go. Bye.
All right,
I'm
bye-bye.
coloring mine. I'll show you my coloring next class.
Okay, sounds good. We'll wait for it. I'll be here. All right, Jessica, what you
I'll
got?
save it.
Ooh, in marker.
Whoa,
Sweet.
that's nice, Jessica.
Thank you. Yay.
All right,
Oh, so cute.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
sweet.
Love it.
thank you.
All right. Thank you for sharing.
Guys were all so cute too.
All right, anybody else? So we can move on to, let's see, we're gonna do our landscapes. All right, landscape. All right, so I think so. All right, 7:50. So we're doing good on time. I try to be respectful on time. First hour, we try to keep it simple. Second hour, we go a little more complex. And then the third hour and when we get to there, the fourth and fifth hours, we'll definitely dig a deeper dive into, let's see, those of you hanging out. All right, so let's take a look and let's look for, all right, love it, Jessica. There's something in the comments. All right, cool. All right. So yes. I'm going to do a drawing landscape. I did find something the other day when somebody mentioned it. I found some pictures that were really good. Here we are. And it's always kind of like, oh, this is interesting. It's always like the trees and the shading and the form. This one, actually, that one's pretty neat. Let me see. This one. Looks like oh yeah, this is the one I just clicked on afterwards. Yeah, look, wow. These are rocks. We did a rock drawing one. Actually, that one is recorded on our website. There's this one. Notice the value. Value really shows how things get lighter and further back. That takes some pencil control and some practice. And that one that looks like a Bob Ross drawing or painting. I did see these. Kind of like the first one. I think I might bring out my pencil as well. Where'd that first one go? This one's a good one. As far as the mountains, I'm not happy with the trees. I'm very picky too, so don't mind me. Let's see this one. Kind of like that. Oh, this looks like the same, but it's just flipped. It's interesting. Oh yeah, wow. So this one has a lot of little detail. It looks like almost like the Matterhorn. So it looks more like a painting. But yeah, really just more detail. And knowing where to put the detail. Oh yeah, look at that. That was, yeah, there it is in color. It might have been a study for this one. All right, let's go back. I liked. I should save them when I find them. All right, let's go with this one here. I think so. All right. And then we've got some other drawings. We'll go afterwards. We'll go with, oops. Let's see if there's anything here. Yeah, see, like here, they're really nailing the values. And really what makes a difference here in this is the range of values and where they're putting them. That makes it more believable. Here, the values are really too light. And then just some of the form kind of, so it loses some of the believability. Down here, I really like this area in here. It looks really nice. And this one looks good too. So it's good to look and study and see, wow, like all the detail in there, it's going to take a while. This one has, the drawing is nice, but there's not very, it has some lights and darks, but very little rendering. That's kind of what I was looking for tonight. Oh, I don't want to log in. All right, let's go move back.
I like the one with the mountain that was right before this page. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we'll do this one. I kind of like that one too. All right. I'm trying to find a better picture of it. All right, it's on Pinterest. Let's go copy image address. We'll do this one. I was leaning toward.
That looks too much professional. Like, how would we do that?
Well, we're gonna break it down. We're gonna try to do the best we can, and that's how we do it. We try, and then we keep trying till we get it. And let's see, copy image address. We're gonna do our best that we can, and break it into shapes. Let me zoom in. Because all it is just shapes. I mean, there's a lot of triangles. There's a lot of triangles. So, and then it's you see, there's like here, you really don't see any lines. It's really just a slight shade, which makes it look more real. It's because they're using their values. They can see the shapes, but they're not drawing the shapes really dark. There's no lines here. See, there's no line right in there. All right, so let me break it down. Let's break it down. We're down to 13 people. Lost a lot of people, and that's all. Oh, actually, no, we're down to 42. That's good. Oh, there's 13 in the chat. All right, good night. See you next week. All right, Paola. Same to everyone. Sorry, I can't get to the chat. If there's something important in the chat, please somebody say, hey. Say, we're getting a lot of people and it's kind of hard to follow.
Do we have the link, Eladia?
A link for this one? Yes, we will in a minute. Now I'm gonna draw it out first. I'm gonna break it down real quick. Actually, let me see. I have my, let's see if I can get it. All right, I think it, yeah. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Here we go. Oops. There we go. I think this is it. Yeah. All right, there's the link. And there's the link for the picture. I'm going to break it down here. It's a lot of triangles. So let's see. Where's my lines? Annotate. Oh, here we are. I think we still have red. So you can see these triangle shapes. And I'm looking at, there's a lot of little variants. I mean, there's like a curve here. There's a curve here. And you probably want to go.
Stop. No, don't click on that. Don't do. God.
There, gotcha. And then like here, these 2 points, just seeing these big shapes, like here, this big triangle here, this triangle here, this triangle there, seeing the big shapes, not worrying about the detail. And this actually helps when it comes to composition. When you're thinking about composition and thinking about how things flow, you have this triangle that's in the middle. It's really strong, helps tie everything together. And when we're talking about composition and composing your drawing, seeing these kind of the big shapes kind of helps tie everything together. These are a little more rounded, but they're kind of almost triangular as well. A little bit that way, yeah. There we go, the echoing shapes. Then you have these triangles here, that one there, that one there.
Mr. Ladio, is it okay if I try it on my own?
Yes, yes. Feel free. Yeah, you gotta find your path. You gotta find your path. I'm just trying to show you one path. There's a lot of ways to get there, right? So I'm just showing you one path. You gotta find your way and try to see it, right? What works for you. Yes. Thank you for asking. All right, we're gonna let's stop sharing, and let's see if I can. I don't know if I'm gonna print this one out. I might get a lot of darkness. I'm gonna go ahead and here we go. We'll just draw it out. And all right, we got some hardcore heroes here tonight. We got 41 of you, and plus myself. Here we go. Let's draw this. I'm gonna use a pencil. Let me see. I think so, because I'm definitely trying to get all the shading. So give me a second, and I can stretch. If you want to get up and stretch, that would be good. Some of you are probably already drawing away. I have colored pencils.
Picture in the link is too small.
Oh, it is? Let's see what we can do about that. Ooh, picture in the link is too small. That's, I don't know.
You should be able to make it bigger by zooming into it. If it's touch, you can just go like that, and or else you can go to your settings and make it a little bigger if it helps.
There we go.
Okay, I'll try that.
Thank you.
It still doesn't work.
If you want, take a look at, I can share my screen again, and you can take a picture of it. Let me share my screen again. There it is. Okay. I can even make that bigger. I press Control, and then I have a little mouse wheel that I spin, and it makes it bigger. You can also go up here in the corner, up here and right here, there's right here where it says 250%. See where it says zoom, you can zoom it bigger or smaller right in there. That helps too. Okay.
Wait, how did you do that?
So let me do it again. Good question. The how questions, love them. So here you click on where it says update, like up here, the little right there. And then if you look down here, you can see it says zoom. And you can make it bigger and smaller. Love those questions. That's what it's about, being curious and asking questions, and that's how you're gonna learn.
Yeah, I'm not sure where's the zoom thing. It doesn't say it.
No, okay. So in the corner, it depends on what kind of browser you have too. It's up here. Well, mine says update. Let me see if I can find another browser. See if it says.
She can press Control plus. Control plus.
Oh, Control plus. Yes, Control plus.
Can you check Control plus? Press Control button and plus together.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. We're gonna go ahead and draw. I'm gonna again block everything out. We're gonna do the triangles. We're gonna draw the big shapes first, and then block it all in. We're gonna do it lightly. There's a lot of shading. There's a lot of shading, so I'm gonna mute everybody, and then we're going to zoom in on my screen. I think I don't know if I'm zoomed in on it, but I will be. I think I am spotlighted. There we go.
Okay, I'll just copy you because the thing doesn't work.
Okay.
Why don't you just try Control and the plus sign? That might do it.
I already did that.
Because I just did that on mine and that seemed to work.
All right. Let's do this. Nope, I just lost my picture. All right, you know what I can do? I have it in the memory. I can paste it again. Control V. There it is. Found it. All right, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm using a pencil. I can get the just to lay down this horizon line where the kind of the water is. So it's right about here. It's not halfway. It's about a fourth of the way. So if you looking at fractions and how everything fits, here's half, and then a half of that. That's where kind of the water is. You kind of want to don't go too low or too high. So look at the half of your paper. That's the halfway mark, and then half of that. That's where the water is going to be. Right, so that's our water line. And then we have our first triangle. And it's a double peak, but I can put those two peaks together and try to simplify. My one of my art teachers would tell me, keep it simple, student. He would say, keep it simple, student. And they got to keep it simple as you're learning as a student. You want to simplify. And then, because I was always like into detail and looking at it more complexly. So there's our triangle. Notice where it is, how it fits. Let me see, am I zoomed out enough? Let me see, I think I have. All righty, here we go. Let me put some more light on this because it's a little dark here. So I turn them on this other light here. There we go. Maybe that'll help a little bit. So it's just this big triangle. It actually helps tie everything together. Compositionally, triangles are really solid, kind of like the pyramid. All right, so we have one triangle there, another one over here right next to it, kind of coming out like that. Right next to it. And there's a lot of little angles to it, but we want to get just the foundation first. There's another one behind here. And the angle's a little different, but and actually attaches itself to this first triangle. But I'm blocking everything in. And then here's one tree here. Oops. So one triangular tree. Yeah, what's going on here? Let me move this over. All right. Got a little challenge here. All right. So there's that tree here, and then there's another tree that's up here. That there, and everything kind of like overlaps. There's like this lap here, lap there. These another lap there. This little hills on this side by this lake, and it just goes back and forth in there. I'm not going to worry about that. Here I can actually use an oval shape or a circle. Let's zoom out a little bit. I think I can move this camera back. There we go. There we go. That's good. In here, a big circle shape and there's some bushes, and we'll break it down, but it should be about that kind of a mass in there. And then we've got one triangle here. And then another triangle here. And then there's a lot of other triangles and a lot of other stuff in here, but I'm not going to worry too much about. There's one in here. Triangle. Keep hitting. There's a little ledge right here. Keep hitting. There's one triangle there, and then there's a smaller one right about there. All right, and just do the best you can to kind of capture that. We're going to start shading. We're going to start shading and go from the background, and sometimes you can use an extra sheet of paper so you don't smudge as we're shading, because this is going to have a lot of shading in it. And I could actually probably use a charcoal, or I can use, which makes shading a little bit easier, or, you know, but a little more messy. All right, so there's some clouds up here. We got our foundation. I think this is pretty good. This is pretty solid of where everything's kind of going to go and how it all fits. The clouds, there's one big circle, not big, but it's this circle compared to the other ones, it's all relative. There's this circle here, another little circle here, but don't draw, you're gonna have to draw these really light, because we're only capturing this part in here, that this is the cloud is white. And to get that white, while you shade the background behind it, and it's really lightly shaded around that area there. And I'm going to go ahead and erase. I think I don't know if I like this. I don't trust this eraser yet. Yeah, it works. And sometimes these erasers will leave a little bit of a pink mark. And so I'm erasing the circles that I made. There we go. And I'm just shading really lightly. It's really light shading and really soft. It's this is where really skill and observing how light and how dark. A good thing to do is a value scale. And a value scale is where you draw maybe 5 to 8 squares, because that's all you really need when you're shading. You know, there's how many shades of gray. There's you only need about 5 or 8. You don't need a whole bunch. You want to see how dark you can get your pencil, and that would be your first square. And there are different colors, but they're not colors. They're just a different hardness of lead. The H's are the harder leads, and they're darker. Then you have the B pencils. Those are darker because they're softer. And here we have this one is a HB pencil, but it's not sharpened. And I don't know where my blade is at. And I've got this one. This is it's a promotional pencil from STEM. So I'm not going to get a big range from it, but we'll struggle with it. And then you want to get, actually, you go as dark as you can with your pencil, and that's your dark, because you can't get any darker than that. And then you go to as light as you can get it, as light as you can get it. And that's how I usually do it, go as light as I can get it. And sometimes, when you're first starting, a little rubbing is okay. But you want to practice trying to shade without rubbing. Eventually, you can rub just like, just get it really lightly. Well, how light can you get it? Even lighten it up a little bit. And then everything else is in between. Try to get a middle. Where would that middle gray be? So we only need about 5 shades. And then there's something in between those two, a little bit darker, but not as dark as that one. We're going a little darker. And it's that pencil control. And then this one's going to be lighter, but not as dark as that one. There we go. Hopefully you can see the different shades of gray. There we go. So we're going really light with this back here. We got that one big circle, this other little circle. We're shading all this. We're shading right to that line, and we're almost getting rid of it. We're actually rendering. This is called a rendering. Rendering is we're really getting rid of lines. We're really not showing lines. We're showing edges. So there's this edge here. We'll shade it out into this. There's another cloud up here behind this one.
What pencil are you using? Is it HB?
This is probably an H pencil. I wouldn't say HB. This is I have an HB right here, but this is more like an A. I feel like it's an H.
It's 2B too soft?
No, 2B's no, for this part probably. You probably want an H. Definitely want an H in here because it's light. You want to really go light in here. and really look at the image and try to capture the value. Because yeah, I'm using these light values in here.
Is it okay if you do the same landscape, but do with decoration?
Yeah, yeah, get creative. Yeah, there's no right or wrong. You just want to do it. You go with what your idea is. Sometimes you like your idea, it turns out good. Sometimes it doesn't, but that's okay. That's what the journey is about. It's
Is
all
it
about-
okay if you do a different thing, but you still have the tree and the mountain and the clouds?
Yes, it's okay. Because you're inspired by somebody else's artwork. It makes it more original. It makes your work more original because it's yours. You just got inspired by somebody else's work.
Okay.
All right. And this helps push these mountains forward a little bit. All this really light shading right here. And I can, if I still see a little bit of a line here, I would probably try to erase it a little bit, this edge, but that's okay. It's all right. It's this light, really as light as you can get these clouds in here. And you can see this, these mountains peaks kind of pop a little bit. And we're going to split this mountain right in here. There's a little bit of a split. There's 2 points. But I'm trying to keep that layer there. Actually, why don't I go ahead and do that? Here's just because this is really dark
I
right
need to eat my dinner, so bye.
Okay. Enjoy. Save me some.
I'm still staying here.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and this peak right at the peak. This peak is a little bit lower. It's the one further back. It's the first one on the left. I'm going to go as it's pretty dark. It's pretty dark. You can see this value right in here. It's pretty dark, and it's just this shape. And I'm going away from our first triangle, our base triangle. There's a little bit of lighterness in the middle of it. The edges are really dark. And this edge is really dark and sharp, but inside it's a little bit lighter. I don't know if you can see it. Let me zoom in. So yeah, so right at the edges go darker, and inside it's a little bit light. Outside, ooh, I don't think that does any justice. Need to get a better camera. There it is. And then I'm bringing that down here. There's a lot of little texture here. Why don't we go with this other mountain on this side? I'm going to zoom out a little more. And the values really make a difference. Okay, so here we're going to break it down. It kind of comes down, curves up, and about like that. Breaks up that space right in there. And it's lighter. It's probably somewhere in the middle to light value in here. And don't be afraid just to go light. You can always go darker, but once you go darker, it's harder to get it lighter. This part of the mountain is a little straighter. It kind of goes up with this up in here to where it meets. A little bit of a curve, a little bit of a slope. Actually, this edge is made because of this mountain that's in the front. There we go. I'm going to shade it all in, just a nice middle shade. This shape that I just drew, all this one shape right in here. You see, and this picture, I just chose it, you know, because I think I you know, it stood out. Plus somebody said, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that was the one. I was just trying to see if I could find a better one. But yeah, this is it. Now I shaded it really flat. It's all shaded one value. Now I can actually go darker with it, because right at the edge here it goes a little bit darker. See, I have it one value. Getting that first value down really helps. A nice middle value. And now I'm going to go a little bit darker right at the edge. Right at the edge, I'm going just a little, pressing a little harder right at that edge. And then blending it out. Blending it out, it makes it a lot easier when you have it shaded already, and just blend it out. Blend it out, nice and soft. Soft. See, it just blends out because I'm pushing that edge a little bit harder right at the edge.
The lead of my pencil, the lead of my mechanical pencil is like broken.
Yeah, mechanical pencils are kind of hard to shade with. They have a really sharp point, and And those are a little harder to shade with. It's doable, but you definitely have to have quite a bit of experience and you have to kind of like wear that lead down and it's doable though. But there we go. Let's do the best you can.
Yeah, I got an extra pencil.
All right, so I've got this edge. This is really good. And then here on this edge, I still see a line here, right? See, there's still a line. I'm gonna try to get rid of this line. And the way I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna just shade lightly on the other side and it kind of blend it into that line. So all this is one value and it stops at that value, right? And there's no line, there's just edges. We're really doing a rendering. We're not doing it's more than a drawing. We're really doing a rendering because these are edges. There's really no lines. We're really trying to, you know, do a rendering. You can see that edge a little bit. I can probably go back in there and lighten it up a little bit with my eraser or blend it out a little bit with my eraser or your finger. Last ditch. But try to keep that white. If anything, you can actually put a piece of paper there. You'll have a straight line, but you know, and actually I've seen that. We actually have done that was for students. We actually tear paper and make our mountains and use, it's actually pretty neat. We could probably do that real quick after this. I remember doing that when I taught 6th grade with my students. It's actually a really quick and easy way to do landscape. I'm gonna bring my eraser up a little bit, see if I can bring it up. It's hard to keep some of these edges clean right in there. Erase some of these sketch lines in here because I do want it clean. There it is. Erase it, move it out of the way. All right, I'm pretty happy with the way it's looking. All right, we got some nice soft clouds. We've got this mountain peak here. We got that mountain peak. Let's get to the next peak. This is the emphasis. I believe this is like the most important part of the whole painting because there's something, one of the principles of art is emphasis. Emphasis is like the whole point of this painting is this point right here. So this little point right here, it's almost at the thirds, right? I think it is really close to the thirds. There's all these rules of
Mr. Ladio, I think you colored. It looks like that you have a rip in your paper.
yeah, huh? Yeah, well, especially when we get to the other landscape. Okay, so watch these angles here. Let me show you because it just kind of like goes back and forth. This whole ridge here goes straight this way and then curves this way and then it goes straight that way. And then there's a little soft edge right in there. And then it comes in and it curves. Try to keep some of those straight edges. There we go. And then it comes down right about there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, yeah, I'm happy with that. There's a little bit of crossover in some of these areas, like right in here, it does cross over a little bit and get soft. And then in here too, there's a little bit of texture. Why don't we go ahead and do that? It's a really slight texture as it comes down, swooping down here. There's really slight texture and slight like little lines.
Mr. Ladio,
Yes.
I need to go. So can I just show my drawing and then go?
Sure. What you got? Where you at? Oh, I don't see you.
My landscape is.
There it is. Oh, I see it at the bottom. Sweet. You got those little geez.
Is it?
Little lily pads. Little lily
There-
pads.
That's so good.
Sweet. And you got the shapes. Great. That's where you at.
Thank you. Bye. See you next class.
All right.
Bye.
I'll
Bye.
color everything and show it.
All right. We'll wait.
Uh-huh.
All right. Let's see. Here we go.
Bye. Good night.
Night. All right. So here we go. Just a little bit of texture in here, a little texture. That little texture gives it a little sense of realism. And there's just these little slight subtle changes, subtle shades, probably right in here. A little bit of texture. All right, now we're gonna go with this second side of the mountain. Right in here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Right there. It does come down, and then it actually attaches itself to this other peak. So it's all one piece right in here. It's all one piece. Now, let's do this triangle here from this middle of this tree, this way up, right in there. And this is another triangle that goes in front. Now I'm going to shade all this shape. All this shape in here is going to be shaded. So I'm going to slightly shade, except for this part. This is actually like probably a little bit of a break. Let's go on this other side and bring it down. I'm drawing over the tree but my tree is going to go darker and on top, so I'm not worried about it. I'm just trying to get that shape that goes behind. See, I'm working from background to foreground. And sometimes, think about how things are done, the how. All right, so I'm going to shade all this area now, all this area in here. So I'm going to shade it about a 2. Right, it's a little bit darker than our clouds back here, just slightly. All this area in here, all this up in here. I'll probably go a little bit lighter in here though, as I go up in there. But on this side of the mountain, right in here, and then lighter as it goes out that way. I'm building up my dark areas. I'm building it up, just slightly shading it all, going really back and forth. Notice how I'm holding my pencil. Actually, I'm holding my pencil like this at an angle. That gives you, instead of, if your pencil's up straight up and down, you're going to get, your shading is going to have more lines in it. And if you hold it down and actually even work your pencil down on another piece of paper, you can actually work the lead down, work it down so it's smoother. And then you go over here and then you can shade smoother. Your shading will be smoother. Now I'm going to bring up some of these even darker in here. So I'm building up the darkness, building it up, building it up. Ooh, looks like there's a light on this other side, which I kind of missed. That's okay. I'm going to go up here now. I'm going to bring some of this darkness down, and it kind of gets lost with texture. Like there's a lot of these little rocks. So I'm going to kind of just like put texture in it, leave some of the little gaps. I'm leaving little gaps, but I'm giving a little texture as it comes down right at that tip. You can see that. And then a little more gap. And then here, there's a dark little line here from this ridge. Let's see this roundedness part. It's kind of like leaving form-wise, it would be leaving that line right there because this is another form. So it gives you that illusion of form coming off of that circular thing right there. And then we got to soften up that line that's right there because we're doing a rendering. So we want to get rid of this line a little bit, render it into the shade that we did. See, so notice how we did one shade and then shading little changes on it makes it easier. Going from one value and then going to the next value. There we go. Values. Yeah, we're moving up. We're moving up as we get more people here. So start off with line, exploring line, having fun with line, and then shape, and then looking for shapes and looking for the ratios, then looking for the proportions of shape. And then the next step is form. And we can see the form here and looking for form. Form it takes a while really to get form. When you hit form and seeing form, three-dimensional form, it's a whole other level. That's where a lot of people get stuck and stop. They get to form. Some people stop when they get to line. They get to scribble. Their parents say, well, don't be scribbling on the wall. And you go and you stop. Picasso says, everybody's born an artist. The challenge is remaining one as you grow up. All right. Oh, did we get somebody? No. Unless somebody gave out the wrong thing. We can add more little texture on this side, on the mountain, I guess on this side, a little more texture. I feel just like almost like little dots here and there, little subdued dots. So have that texture here on this side, a little bit of line texture. And then here, soften up that line. So it's more of an edge. Get rid of lines. I'm gonna get rid of lines. I'm gonna get rid of this line as well, making it more of an edge. And then here on this peak, because all this kind of sticks together, all this is like one piece. There's a light side. So I'm going to try to keep that light side and then shade up. What actually works is there's something called chamois or tissues, and you can actually, you know, put some lead on it and blend it in. That's also okay. I'm just going to try to shade really lightly all this whole area up in here. There is a bit of a cloud on this side. Then I'm going to shade it all lightly in. This helps also make the mountains pop because of this change in value. This value slight value here. We try to keep our mountain light with some texture on it. Over here light, then back here slightly pushing it back. You're kind of almost pushing it back with a little bit of shading. The light shading there, and then bring that light, keep maybe a little bit of a cloud, and then just shade it out and try to do a gradient. Those are tough. Those are really hard when you're first beginning, where you go from one value to another value. It's a slow change. And a gradient, that's what it is. It's a gradual change, a gradient. It's a gradual change. Or you can also think of grade, like, you know, because sometimes I have students that shade from one grade to another grade. It's like, hey, you're shading, you're not gradual. You're going from like second grade to fifth grade, you know, you got to have a gradual change. You go to second grade, you go to third grade, fourth grade, you know, you got to make those changes gradual. You're like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah. It's gradual, soft changes. All right, here we go. All right, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. All right. And if it's not, that's okay. You're learning. What's important is the process. How are we doing this? And then the more you practice the how, then you'll get it. It's not about perfection. It's about the process. It's the how. So this side is darker. This cloud side is darker. Right in here, I can probably darken it up. Probably some better pencils. It will happen. I'm just grabbing whatever there is. And sometimes you're doing that. I'll actually eventually even do some videos where I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna go to the beach and just draw in the sand, whatever's around, just doing it to do it for fun. All right, I'm gonna soften this all with my finger, soften it all with my finger. See, especially if you see lines, you can, all this whole sky should be soft. You can soften it up. You know, there's some artists that are totally against it. I'm somewhat a little bit, but you know, when you're beginning, what's important is just, you know, getting it. And then, you know, eventually the skill comes with time. Yeah, there we go. Just softening it all up. There we go. Softening the sky. And then I have a nice contrast here. The sky is darker and this part of the mountain is lighter as it's going from dark to light. And it's that whole play with values, lights and dark. And as it gets down here, it goes a little bit darker again. But it's also that same side of that mountain. All right, coming along. 8:28 here in Southern California. All right, I think we're done with the big part of the mountain. We're going to do this little mountain here. And there's in the drawing, their drawing, they have a tangent. I don't like tangents because it's really hard to see the difference between this tree and this mountain up here. So we're going to go dark again right here for this part of the mountain, the last part of our mountain here. And then I'm gonna do my tree a little bit offset because in the picture there's too much of a tangent, and the tangent happens, and you gotta, as an artist, you gotta get rid of them. You wanna shoot for clarity. All right, so there's this side of the mountain. The light's coming from the left, top left. Knowing where your light source is important. I think I'll bring it out a little bit like that, down, and lighten it up as it comes down. Let's see, this is my darkest spot. And this is my darkest area in here. Just lighten it up as it comes out as a triangle. I'm just gonna bring it out as a triangle here. I'm going over my trees. That's okay. Because I know my trees are going to be darker. I'm already kind of starting to just lay down shade. All in here as well. All this is going to be shaded. His lake is kind of has a little bit of a bump in it. I'm going to make mine straighter. Just because water lays flat. Unless it's, but I wouldn't have it go up. If anything, I'd have it maybe like if there's a marsh or something at the edge. Then it comes up softly. I'm going to have it here, and I'm going to actually, I'm going to slowly shade as I go up higher, lighten it up, 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 lighten it up. Look at that gradual shade. From here, it goes lighter as it goes higher. I'm trying to get those gradual changes, really gradual changes as it comes up, and blend it all together. Make it, and that's another one of the principles. We're really getting into the principles tonight. Another one of the principles of art is unity. How do you make it look united, like it's one piece? Not like there's pieces over here, pieces over there, right? Unity is one of the principles of art and design. And you have your emphasis here. Everything kind of points to it, to the point, right? That sharpness, that edge. And everything else is a support, kind of supports our emphasis. El énfasis. All right, the emphasis. All right. Okay, I think we're done with the mountains. Now it's just putting in the trees. I'm gonna go from left to right. So I'm gonna go here. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see what we have so far. It's coming along, coming along. I think it's looking lovely or nice. Not too shabby. All right, some really nice little shades, clouds up in there. And then we got the darker values here. And then we're gonna go, we have got this shrub here, but we gotta paint what's not there, draw what's not there to get what's there. So around it is more shrubbery. And it's not perfectly round. There is like a round shape here, another round shape there. And inside the shape is like that, but it's almost like this. And there's a lot of little shapes in there as it gets smaller and into detail. But these are the big shapes. Now again, now that I outlined it, we want to get rid of that outline. You don't want to make it an edge. We're going to make it an edge so we don't see those lines. We don't see those edges. We don't see the lines. We see edges. And here I'm going to soften it up as it goes up a little bit. Just soften up that edge. If you want to add a little bit of texture, that's okay. Like here, this is shrubs or trees or whatever this is back here down here. You know, it's, you're suggesting objects in here just by shading it in like that. Let me zoom in. Bam, there it is, right in here. Right. And softening it, all this up in here. Right, going darker. And say, hey, there's a lot of little trees in here, back here, because we're gonna do a darker tree right there. So this is probably like a 3 or 4 right in the middle range. I'm saving my darks for my trees that are gonna go on top of this. But I'm kind of like making it sfumato. Sfumato is like smoky, soft edges. It's Italian, sfumato. I believe it's Italian, sfumato. It comes from actually Leonardo da Vinci in the Mona Lisa. He did sfumato, some smoky, soft, really edges. A lot of little tricks he did in his artwork. It was like the latest iPhone. It's like, whoa, but now it's like, who thinks about the first iPhone, right? So that's what the Mona Lisa is. It's like the first iPhone. Some of the new stuff that's like, wow, okay. And then everybody like, what's so big about it? Yeah, okay, you don't understand the history. What came before it? What was, right? So, all right. There we go. There's our background area here, and I think it goes darker in here. It was really dark in here. I think I'm going to go ahead and start putting in my trees from left to right. There is, I don't know, there's scribbles. There's like little scribbles in here. I'll put little scribbles. Like, okay, a little bit of a scribble tree. A little bit of a scribble tree in here. Just a little rounding. I'm actually kind of shading by rounding a little bit. Here, there's going to be one little tree right in here. Sticking out. This is my darkest tree right in here. I'll put it a little bit, a slight angle, not so much like a triangle. We got to break that so it's not like too geometrical. So we're going to push it a little bit to the right, the top side, and then we're going to break it up and bring that triangle dark at the top, and then blend it as it comes down. Let's see, blend it as it comes down into our shaded area. There we go. As it gets lost in the mist. There we go. Look at that. Boom. All right. Zooming in. Yeah. Wow. I don't know. Get better lighting, better camera. But I'm getting a little bit of a glare. Where's that light's coming from? I've got lights everywhere. See, that's a really, oh, actually that looks better, right about there. Huh. Interesting. Okay. All right, so notice how things are soft, things are hard. Here we go. Here's another tree right in here, right about there. I'm watching there. They stop right at that point. I'm gonna go a little bit before that. I'm gonna stop before that point. It's almost like the fingers of creation and Michelangelo's not Pieta, but it's Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel painting, where it's almost touching. You got to be aware of those things. You got to stay away from tangents. That's almost another tangent right there. Actually, it is a tangent. They have their tree touch that shadow right there. But this is clearer. You can see where the tree ends. So you want to make those choices every time you can. Shoot for clarity. You're trying to tell a story, trying to send a message. Clarity is king, unless you want to drown out the message and be, oh, what was that other word? Oh. All right, so here actually I can start adding scribbles. There's almost like scribbles in here, like shrubs and stuff in here. I'm adding like little scribbles right at the bottom of the area. There's a little bit of scribbles till we get to our next tree right here, where I want to have watch out for my tangent. I'm going to actually make that tree right in here and go across. Go as dark as I can. This pencil probably not the best pencil to go dark, but it's good. It's looking too blocky, so I'm going to push some branches out a little bit so it doesn't look so solid. Push some branches out. There we go. That one's good. Then just bring it down, get it lost in here, nice and dark. And then here we go. The next tree right in here, right in there. The branches coming out. Yeah, there's branches kind of stick out this way. Almost, there we go, like that. Nice and dark. 8:37, moving along past halfways in our drawing here. This whole tree in, I think it's, yeah, here we go. See this area in here is going to be a little bit slightly dark. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and shade all this area. This whole area right in here. A nice little shade first. So like a middle to a third shade. That little shaded area in there. Oh, such glare. I look at my picture up there. See a slight glare. Yeah, there's a little bit of a glare. There's a little bit of a shine to it because yeah, oh yeah, right when I moved it. Oh yeah, look at that. Look and see the difference there in the values. Yeah, you can see the difference in the values when I hold it at an angle. As I bring it down, there's a little bit of glare coming. Yeah, see that glare? Look at the way the values change. A little bit of a glare. Good night, Julia. I just saw that. My almost 5-year-old is drawing with us, though she decided to draw a house instead. Yeah. All right, good night, Darrow. I'm seeing all these smudging at this point. That's all good. Use my finger to blend. I feel like I have trouble with blending sticks. Oh yeah, they're called stumps and there are blending sticks. Yeah, it's all good. You know, the more you practice, the more you're like, okay, here's where I get a blending stick. Here's where, you know, we'll get to those Yeah, but right now it's just doing what you got. We're going guerrilla. We're going guerrilla, just making it happen. Sometimes that's the first step, just doing it, you know. There's no rules. Like, oh, it's supposed to be done this way, back and I don't know. Everybody with their rules. Sometimes just doing it, because that'll stop you. That's where, you know, that just do it, that Nike logo. Some people get caught up, they're afraid to make mistakes. It's overcoming that, you know, okay, there's no way to do it. Just do it and learn. And sometimes, you know, it's not win or lose, it's win or learn. You know, you do it and sometimes you hit it, sometimes you don't, you learn something the hard way, but it's still just, you're in the game. That's the fun part. Some people are in the stadium and they just criticize, and you know that. All right. It's there's a quote by Theodore Roosevelt that what's her name uses a lot about people. Yeah, it's about the warrior on the in the arena. Yeah, that's a good quote. It's a long one. Brene Brown talks about, yeah, the warrior in the arena by Teddy Roosevelt. Okay, so these trees up here are dark, but not as dark as this tree. So that we have 2 more trees up here and we're done with the trees. All right, so this tree here, it's a little bit
What
low.
number pencil are you using, Ladio?
I'm using,
tree?
I'm pushing this number 2 pencil, whatever it is. It's not even a drawing pencil. It's a pencil that I just picked up.
Oh,
I would say it's a middle-sized pencil. You know, yeah, I'm not, you know, it just goes to show, you know, you just push whatever you can with what you have. Like I'm really pushing it. So I'm getting quite a range with this. It's like, look at, you can see great minds in STEM. It was a pencil I picked up at this convention. But and I do have drawing pencils. I don't have my I don't have my sharpener or my blades, because I usually when I do pencil drawings, I have a blade and I have my pencils and but I haven't done that in a while. This is the first time I've done like shading in a bit.
the blade to cut the wood shape off instead of using pencil sharpener.
Right, I use a blade. I always use a blade and I push the lead out, and you get more control, and you actually use more of the pencil, especially when supplies can get expensive. And we can go into that another time, especially in the summer. We'll prepare a lot more. All right, so we're gonna do our tree up here. It goes really thin at the top. It's almost as dark as we can get it, just slightly lighter. It's not as dark as this tree. It's almost there though. It's almost there. And then we're just putting the little branches in. Yeah. And I'm not copying it exactly. I'm kind of just getting the feel of it. That's kind of goes in there, and then it kind of goes in here, and then it all kind of gets lost. They have a texture on there. I don't like too much, but it's all good. I'm gonna, so you can see right in here, you can see it really compare the value change or difference. Well, I guess you can't unless I tilt it. Yeah, you can see it there. See, it's not as dark as this tree here. Yeah, when I tilt it, you can see the values. It's dark up there, and then I'll probably go darker, darken it up. It's easier to go darker. Get a shade in there first and see how dark it is. You can always go darker. But if you go really dark, then you know. See, now I'm going in here and darkening it up just a little bit more. Going in here and getting that, and then here just scribbling in the tree. It's all really just a, and your lead at this point is probably pretty wide, so you can just. Mine's not. You just shade it all in really quickly and blend it. Actually goes darker and then it goes lighter. And there's a bit of an edge right there, and blend it up. It's hard to see. Oh, there you go. See, I kept that edge here and then I'm blending it up. Especially right at the edge, around the edges of stuff, you can get away with going a little bit darker and then blending out. Like here, I can blend out and just get all this lost, all and just blend it out. Blend it out. If you want more tree texture, you can put a little bit. There we go. A little bit of branches. Top. Try to get shapes. Yeah. All right, there we go. This is a lot. There's a hill, almost, it's really soft. And these next hills over here, there's two more hills. Let me zoom out now. All right, here we go. There's two more hills on this side. We'll probably go left to right because I'll probably do this. We're gonna do this side and then we'll go to this side and then a little bit of water and we're done. We're done. We're wrapping this one up. It looks like, yeah, we got all the background done. So you have the background, the middle ground, and then the foreground here. So just like the clouds, they've got this other shape, all these brushes and shrubs in here have this inner shape. I'm just putting it in there. And then there's all this like branches. Just kind of, the edges are really what you're trying to capture here, this edge right in there. And then all this stuff is just really almost soft because it kind of goes out. So you really want to try to capture that sharp edge there. And this down here at the bottom. And then up here, it kind of goes out. All these reeds and who knows what it is, just coming out. Right there. You can blend it out. So I'm blending it. The gradients. It's right sharp and a little bit darker at the edge right there. And then it comes out and just softening those edges. And keeping some of the lines, some of the grass. And here, this hole becomes a shape now on this side. This darkness becomes a shape on this side. So all this is light, and then on this side, it's because of the shadow, I would believe, it becomes a dark shape on this side as it becomes into the water and then goes into the water. And it becomes part of the shore right in here. And there's a little bit of a darkness as it comes back, and all this is like shore right in here, this shore part. And then there we go, as it goes into the water. So you can see right here, it looks like a line. I'm going to soften up that line by going just a little bit darker, pushing the darkness a little bit. This is shore, sand, or who knows what it is. Up here is the shrub or the vegetation. All right. We do have a reflection in the water as we go from left to right. There's some reflection of this tree right in the water. We can do a little bit of that reflection, upside down triangle. Doesn't have to be perfect. There's a little bit of that upside down triangle right in there. And blend it into the water, just going back and forth. No, I just went back and forth as water. And then here, this triangle here, doing it. Maybe give a little bit of space because sometimes you get a little bit of a reflected light right at the top. And that's what it has in the actual drawing. A little bit of reflected light. And then it comes down right in there. Probably soften it up. There we go. And almost even adding texture like ripples as I'm shading left to right. There it is. I'm going a little bit darker up on the top right in there. And it's hitting the right values, those values. And that only comes with practice and experience and thinking about it, talking about it. All right. Ooh, look at that. Wow. Bob Ross, watch out. All right. Yeah. Here we go. All right. Now we need is the right side and we're done. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get this whole ridge, this whole edge as it comes in, this hill comes into, there's a little bit of reflection of this. That'll take off. Thanks. See you next week. All right, Randy. Let's see. We got Christy. I'm going to mute you. All right. There we go. Okay. So here we go. This whole edge, this whole ridge right here. I'm going to go a little bit darker right in there. I'm just getting that that part here. This whole bottom part, it's darker as it goes up. This part of the this lower ledge as it hits the water is dark and then it goes up, blends up. I'm just trying to get these points. There's 3 points kind of coming in like that. And this one's probably a little further out, but that's all good. There we go. There we go. And the rest is just vegetation, just kind of like vegetation shading, kind of like coming out and up in there. Just making that dark edge right in here, this edge. And we actually can shade up and break it up so it doesn't look so even. Kind of like it radiates from certain points. This vegetation radiates. There we go. So I'm having it radiate and softening up some of these edges. We're moving pretty quickly. We got 45 minutes into this drawing. There we go. We're almost there. All right. Finishing this up. Sign this one. Bob Ross said, go. Get all this dark. And notice the lights and the darks. You can squint your eyes and say, hey, this should be darker. This should be lighter. That's a good way to do it. Kind of squint your eyes. And they're like, oh, wow, that looks good. Or look at it from a distance too. That's another way. Instead of squinting, you can look at your drawing from a distance, a different perspective. Change your perspective. Look at it from a different angle. You'll see a difference. There we go. We're going to do this dark area in here. See, I'm actually even just keeping that, the shading as part of the texture and the value. The shading. Where you get that crossover, it's pretty cool. There we go. I think I'm almost satisfied. I'm gonna add a little bit of little ripples here and there in the foreground in my water. Maybe a little bit of reflections here. A little bit lighter, a little bit of reflection maybe over here. There it is. Put my signature. There we go. That's not my signature, but anyways, it's close. All right, there it is. How many hardcore heroes we have? 26. Woohoo! Hardcore heroes 26. We're up in our numbers. All right, you guys hanging in there for the long haul. All right, 8:51. Oh, I don't know. We can take it. I was going to go over. Well, it'll be your choice. Whoever's hanging in here, that's we'll go for about maybe another half an hour. We can show some work and we can maybe talk about, I know somebody was interested in storyboarding if you're still here, or doing this other drawing. We have this, where is it at? This caricature, kaiju. If that person is here, kaiju, we can get to drawing that character. We can save it for another day. But there's our landscape. Not too bad, Bob Ross. All right. We should yeah, as we get into later in the days, we can actually probably even get into painting or even do more specific stuff. You can take a break, come back and say, hey, come in at this hour, say, hey, let's do the advanced stuff. All right. But anybody can draw. I can see it's all shapes, it's all value. Well, this is the next level, values and form. Definitely values and form. You can see that. All right. If anybody would like to share, if you don't have to share, it helps me help you. And see, okay, well, I should have explained that better. I should have. It's all good. It's all good. We're all doing it for fun. Here we go. All right.
Are there recordings of your previous sessions?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I do have recordings. They will be on the website. If you go to our website, sketchbookhero.com, you'll see a couple of recordings. You click on those, and then if you know how to go to
Billy and Buster.
Yeah.
Sorry, you said Sketchbook Hero or
Yeah, Sketchbook Hero, sketchbookhero.com.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff online. All right, so let's go with Enoch. Hey, Enoch. Let's see, where are you? I see your hand, but I don't see your face. Oh, there you are. Oh, you know who beat you was marrying, but we'll do you since you're right there. All right. Ooh, yeah, the ink. Wow, let me see your sky. What you got in the sky? A little lower, Enoch. Yeah, you got something in your sky. Oh, yeah. Got some symbols or shapes.
I use charcoal.
Oh yeah, charcoal. Nice. Oh, okay. I thought it was ink. Yeah, charcoal.
Charcoal and fingers and thumbs and everything.
You're going gorilla.
And cotton buds. Yeah, cotton buds.
Oh yes, and Q-tips. Whatever.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, very nice. All right. Thank you for sharing. Sweet. All right. Let's go with Demi or who? Let me see whose hand is up. Let me see. Remove spotlight. Oh, I haven't seen any hands up. I saw some hands up. There we go. There's Mary. Let me go with Mary. There you go. What you got? Hello, Mary.
Hey, I wish I had a stipple thing too. Mine was all pencil, so it was just kind of hard to make it something soft and, make some things harder. But
Yeah, it is. And it's pencil control, and it comes with time too. So I mean, sometimes you gotta fight the medium a little bit, and then you appreciate like, oh, okay, wait a minute, and then you find your favorite tool.
Yeah. I ended up painting the last exercise that we did, and it was hard because this is sketch paper, it's not watercolor paper. So it came a little mottled, but it was fun, right? I mean, I was able to get some color onto it. So
yeah, that's my first watercolor paintings were on bond paper, and they're all wrinkled.
yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, great.
Thanks.
Thank you for sharing. All right, anybody else? We got a caller tonight. Oh, we got Priyanka. Priyanka, good to see you. What you got? Let me see your smiley face. Where are you at? I don't see your video. There we go. All righty. What you got? Wow, look at that. You really, your values. You can see the values. Yeah.
Yeah.
And your sense of space, your composition, you really filled up the page. Sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed.
Oh, great. I'm glad. Thank you for sharing. Okay, let's see who else. We got any other hands? Anne Francois. There we go. There we go. What you got? You're in the dark. You're in the dark values.
I am I am with dark values. Can you okay. All right. So I'm working from my iPad, and it's not the same as working with a pencil. So it was very frustrating. But because you have such uplifting words, so it kept me going. So I just want to thank you, Eladio, because you're so encouraging,
Oh, I'm glad. And that's what it is. Half the battle is the psychological battle.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? Are you playing with the opacity in your brushes?
Yeah, I mean it's actually it's the sketching tool, and yeah, so it's if you press hard it gets darker, but I was so not happy with it, but I'm really happy I stuck it out, and I'm not going to pass judgment on my drawing.
Awesome.
I'm just congratulate myself. What?
No,
so
it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, yeah, and people, it's easy to compare to despair. It's like, oh, so easy. It's we do that. Actually, it's our brain. Your brain, it's higher level thinking is compare and contrast. So you're comparing all the time. And things are relative, right? So I mean, and then sometimes it's just but
yeah, and I have an artist training. I mean, I went to art school in New York City way back then, and I haven't drawn in a long time. So Regina suggested I come to your class, and she's right. Your wording is like so uplifting, because as an artist, I'm very critical, and my techniques, it looks like I just began doing art, right? But I've been doing it for years and years, but it's just I'm a lot of practice. And so, but your wording is so encouraging, and it's like, it's just about keep doing it, being on my lane, my lane has changed from the advanced lane to the primitive lane, but so what? I should just enjoy being in the lane that I am in. So everything you've been saying is just incredible. I'm just so grateful, and I thank you.
Glad. Well, thank you for your feedback. It helps me keep going.
Yes, please keep going, Eladio. Thank you.
All right, the heart out there from Demi. Okay, you know what? I screenshotted your picture. I think layering it and using your opacity will help with your tools. I'm gonna do.
But I wouldn't know how to use opacity. Like, I'm still a beginner with Fresco app. So where would I find opacity?
Oh, it's Fresco. What's that?
Yeah, it's a Fresco app. It's I think Adobe makes it.
Oh, really? I really like Procreate. Procreate is
Procreate.
Yeah, it's like $7. It's so worth it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Procreate for iPad.
Yeah. Okay. So I look for the app Procreate.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
That's really good settings. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. All right, anybody else? All right,
What is
cool.
Procreate?
Procreate, I'll show you Procreate. I have it right here. Let's see. Procreate is a program for your iPad. Let me see. 851.
Procrate.
Pro, yeah, and then create. Yeah, Pro and then create. Yeah. So it's this program right here. Here it is, Procreate. And you can see it. Yeah, there's Procreate. And you can see here, I have this drawing here. There's that one. I did that. You can
Wow.
zoom in, zoom out. You have different brushes. You can see the brushes here. All the different brushes, soft edges, sharp, hard edges. And then you can here on this side, you can change the opacity. You see, you change the opacity really quick. You can change the size really quick. Change the size of the brush and change the opacity. And then if you want a color, you can copy a color and then just continue. Like, let's say I want more of this lighter color right there. And I have that lighter color and I can just easily just go in here. See, I bring in some light wherever I want it. And if I change the opacity, I can build that. You see, I build the layers so you can build the values, and it's all just values, right? All just values. So look like you were stuck on one value. So you can.
Opacity is like thickening the drawing.
Opacity is okay. So you have is the transparency. So how opaque something is. So if something's totally opaque, like I have it at 100% opaque. I go here and look how solid that is. See how solid that is. If I undo it with two fingers, undo. I can undo with two fingers. It's really cool to if you do mistakes. And then hold on, let me highlight myself. Where'd I go? Here we go. And then here I can change the opacity, and it's still the same color, but it's more transparent. See, so see there it is, and it would take more layers to get, and the more layers I put, the more the lighter it gets, because I have a light color. If I had a dark color, let's go pick a color here, pick a darker color. This darker color, it does the opposite. So opacity, see, I can go that, and every time I go over it, it gets darker until you see it gets darker, and you have more control over value instead of just having, looks like what she had was just one value. I was going to do this in Photoshop, but it's the same thing. It's controlling the values, your lights and darks, and then understanding where light is coming from and how light bounces and reflects and refracts, and all this is just understanding, right? Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, that's
another skill to learn.
Yeah, it's never ending. It's never ending. It's all problem solving too, and it's fun too. It's like, okay, wait a minute. Where's your wall? When you hit that wall, it's like, oh, he's like, okay, wait a minute. I'm struggling with this. What am I struggling with? And you see that wall, and the joy comes from, finding problems and solving problems you want to solve, right? That's like, wow, I got this. You get this. I don't know. It's a great feeling. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm struggling with this. You struggle. I'm like, what am I having trouble with? What am I trying to do? What's your intention? And then boom, like, okay, wait a minute, this doesn't look right. What's wrong with it, right? And then figuring that out. There's I don't know, there's a great joy in that. And Einstein even said, you think you have math problems, you should see mine. So each level, you're always going to find something you're going to be challenged with. You're going to be like, okay, I'm trying to do this. How do you figure it? How do you problem solve? How do you get to what you want to get, right? What you're trying to aim for, right? And sometimes you hit it, sometimes you don't. But just by doing it, you'll accidentally hit it and like, oh, there it is. This is what I'm looking for, right? And you get that epiphany. You get that like, wow, this is it. This is it. I'm on the right track, right? It's powerful. So let me see. Let's go to the gallery. I have other drawings here. Like this. What's great about this too, you can see here, is it's the texture, and you can get different textures and stuff and details. Morgan Freeman. Yeah, some other drawings here, and this one here too, more of a cartoony drawing, and then I can Super Mario effect. What's really cool too here is in these drawings you can actually see the video time-lapse replay, so you can see myself how I broke it in, right? The blocking in, the shapes, the breaking it in, seeing the lights and the darks. I started off with a medium value, right? So it's a value study. Now I'm going to my darker values. So all this is values, right? We've been talking about, look, there's a lighter value, right? That really up the different values. And there's some paper, there's sketchbooks that actually have a cream, it's not white. And you start, there, and then you can actually put white and make those things pop. I have a purple light coming from my left, a warmer color on the right. Yeah, and that's the drawing. It's just really quick, soft edges, sharp edges. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So it's cost $7 for this program.
Yeah, it's about $7.
How much memory does it take?
I don't think it takes that much. You can see this one too. It's another study in lights. I have one on my phone. I was studying some fire. This one I was just doing the water drops on this one.
It looks like a photograph. It looks so real.
Yeah, these are amazing, Eladio.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just the power of practice and the power of just doing it. Let me see. It's actually, this is really a little dark. Let's see if I can get it lighter. Where's my, here it is. Here it is. Bring that lightness up. Go back there. There it is. There we go.
Wow. How do you make that clear plastic?
You see, well, here we go. Let's take a look. Let's see. You can see me. Let me do the replay, time-lapse replay. You can see I got the background color, and then I get the background. So once I have the background color, then I just go on top of it. You see, because it's transparent. See, the bottle is transparent, and I can use some of the transparency in the tools so you can see through it, right? So that's, and then I'm getting the highlights. You can see the highlights. I can even zoom in while it's working on it. See the highlights where my light source here. I was actually looking at a bottle. This was not from a picture. I was really looking at a real bottle. Had some drops. Look at the drops of water.
Wow.
And just, but it's focusing and seeing value, right? The lights and the darks. And then I was just playing around with splattering some of the tools, some of the stuff. Yeah, you can see. Yeah. But yeah, that's value. That's really pushing value to the next level. That's okay. When you really understand and see value, lights and darks, then color is like, well, boom, it's colors there, right? And then mixing colors and knowing about warm colors, cool colors, the warm color in the background, cool color here. And that's the next level. And you can do both levels at the same time, right? You can do the both levels, but it's good to understand, like, okay, focus, really see the value. Okay, now see color and see through that and trying to mix colors. Is it lighter? Is it darker? Because you're looking at value, even with color, which color is lighter, which color is darker, right? Value wise, you can squint your eyes. Just like dogs don't see color. Supposedly they just see the same thing with bulls. I think they don't see the color red, and everybody with the red flag with the bull, but they just see lights and darks. Right? Their nose is the one that sees thousands of colors, right? Their nose, they can have a better sense of smell than we do. All right, we've got 21 people hanging out. Any questions all right, thank you, Ladia. I look forward to this class all week. So much fun and always learn something new. Good night, everyone. Good night, Irma.
I'm sure too, Eladio. It's Regina.
Regina, what's going on?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, you wanted to share something, or hold on? Oh, there you are. Oh, a dragon.
Yeah, I wanted to make him a little bumpy.
Add some texture to him. Sweet. Very nice.
And here's my.
Oh, there you are. Very nice. Sweet. Yeah, the gradients and the shading and the shadows and the values. Yeah, that was a good discussion. We haven't really had this discussion.
Thank you for breaking it down. It makes it a lot easier to understand. My challenge is always to not get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
You really help it by breaking it down into the shapes.
Yeah, that's the thing too, because there's a lot of challenges, and then okay, which challenge are you taking on and which one's next? All right, because you always what's the next challenge? Yeah, but that's, I'm glad. All right, thank you for sharing. And then Christy, I think, has her hand up.
Yeah, let me see
if I can see you. I see your hand up over here. There you are. I see you. Christy, there you are. I see you. There you go. Spotlight, yeah. Oh, there you go. There's your dragon.
my dragon. My dinosaur is a little bit out of proportion, I think.
Well, you know it then. Yeah, the head's probably a little bigger, but that's okay. It's all good. You know, that's where you hit the wall, and that's something you need to focus on now and practice proportions. practicing how big something is compared to something else, and then you'll get it. So there's the wall, right? I've hit that wall really hard. Sometimes you gotta hit the wall hard and like, oh, there it is. And then people shy away from it. Oh, good. There you go. Good values. Nice and bold. So yeah, sometimes people get shy away from going dark. They're afraid to make it look dirty or muddy or but there you go. You went bold with your shading. Very nice.
This is very challenging.
Yeah, you got it. You took it on. That's the thing. Taking on the challenges. That's what makes you a hero.
I don't know about hero, but it's gonna take me years and years to be like half
Well,
of what most of you students in there.
Well, I'm giving you shortcuts, believe it or not. I took years. Some of these, so it's good to
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
I look forward to your class. But
All right. Okay, so we'll call it a night. I think 9:10. We'd go on. I definitely will be going on. I do have some grading to do, and bring your questions, ask questions, be curious. Say, here's my wall. How can we climb this wall? Or just, hey, wait a minute, appreciate that wall. For a while. It's like, okay, hands. I don't know. That's definitely one that I stood away from for a while. And you come back to it, you'll see that wall. I'm like, oh, you know where you struggle, you know where the struggles are. All right.
I was on YouTube over the week, and there's some people are making their own paint.
Yeah.
A Japanese grind up powder. They grind it up in a glass, mix it with glycerin.